Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Gyan Bhakti. We are currently exploring the scripture Mysticism of Srimad Bhagavatam. Commentary is by my worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayananda ji Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. So in today's satsanga, we will be discussing the story of a devotee king, Ambrish. Long, long ago, there dwelt a king named Ambrish, who was righteous and a great devotee of God. Though efficient in ruling his kingdom and possessing all the affluence of a king, Ambrish was not distracted by the world. As a true devotee, he considered the performance of his royal duties as part of his devotion to God. In other words, his karma. That's another thing he has to do to serve. He was not affected by the opulence and the glories of the richness and all the affluence that he had. Once upon a time, King Ambrish had been observing a vrata, which is a religious practice which involved occasional fasting. Having completed the vrata, which had lasted for a year, he was about to break his fast as the termination of the vrata had come, the appointed time. It's called the parana. Those of you who keep Ekadashi fasts and stuff know the significance of fasting and the particular time in which you are breaking the fast, etc. So just at that time, sage Durvasa, a powerful figure well known in the Hindu scriptures for his anger and readiness to curse anyone who displeases him, arrived with many disciples. Naturally, the king invited them all in and graciously offered food to the tired travelers. Durvasa announced that he and his disciples were going to take a plunge in the waters of a sacred river and then they would come back for the food to be served to them. King Ambrish waited and waited for their return, but sage Durvasa and his party were taking an unusually long time at the river. Because of this, the king found himself in a very difficult predicament. According to custom, it is only after serving food to Brahmins that the king was allowed to take any food for himself. Yet, according to the strict astrological calculations that govern these vratas, the exact time had arrived to conclude the observance that the king had been practicing for a year. Without delay, he had to eat something, or at least sip a little water, or else the correct moment for concluding the practice would pass on and all his disciplinary efforts of the past year would be rendered void and the entire project would have been a failure. Now, King Ambrish had a difficult decision to make. Should he wait for Durvasa so that he has fulfilled the obligation to feed the Brahmins before himself, or should he break the fast at that correct moment and risk displeasing the angry sage? At the suggestion of his priests, he decided to sip just a little water as a token of completing the vrata. Shortly after the king had taken the sip of water, Durvasa came back with his disciples and looked at the king with displeasure, saying, "How dare you not observe the courtesy due to a Brahman? You have touched something with your tongue without feeding us." Immediately his wrath exploded and he plucked a piece of his matted locks and struck it to the ground. Out of that piece of stuff, a kritya, a demoniac force emerged. Durvasa then commanded that force to destroy Ambrish, the king. In response, that terrifying figure began to emit fire and proceeded towards Ambrish. Seeing this, the king remained calm, serene, and unaffected, ever filled with the awareness that God was protecting him because he had kept a long fast and he was sincere in every action. He knew that Lord Vishnu's discussed Sudarshan Chakra was always there to protect him, as God protects his sincere devotees. The moment that the Kritya moved towards Ambrish to destroy him, the discus appeared blazing with energy and the Kritya was reduced to ashes. How could a little demoniac force stand in front of Lord Vishnu's discus? Durvasa was amazed. But before he could evaluate the situation, the Sudarshan Chakra now went after him, Durvasa, emitting fire, whirling like a missile. Durvasa, using his amazing psychic powers, began to run at lightning speed, but that chakra went after him, following him wherever he went. He went to remote mountain caves. He even went to different lokas or world systems. But no matter where he went, the chakra followed him. Greatly frustrated, sage Durvasa decided to seek the help of the greatest of divinities. Firstly, he went to Brahma, the creator, pleading, "Please save me from this burning fire that is pursuing me." But the creator said, "That discus which belongs to Lord Vishnu is protecting a devotee whom you have insulted or hurt in some way. It is not within my power to stop it." Durvasa then went to Lord Shiva, begging for help, and Lord Shiva said the same thing, that it was not within his power to stop it. Finally, he went to Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu said, "I am a slave of my devotee." Imagine the humility of the Lord himself. "Unless my devotee agrees to this and permits it, the discus cannot be withdrawn." Finally, after 1 year of desperately trying to escape from the flaming discus, Durvasa came running to Ambrish. During all that time, the king had not eaten anything, waiting for Durvasa to come back. He had been filled with regret because he had been unable to please Durvasa, and he waited hoping the sage would return to see him. When Durvasa fell at his feet, the devotee king said, "O sage, what are you doing, falling at my feet?" Durvasa answered, "Please protect me from this Sudarshan Chakra." In response, Ambrish offered prayers to that chakra and it withdrew its power. Then Durvasa regained his normal mental composure and blessed the king, praising his extraordinary devotion. So let us explore the deeper mystical meaning of this. In this story, which is told again and again in India to illustrate the glory of devotion or bhakti, King Ambrish represents devotional movement or the power of bhakti. The attitude possessed by the king has always been the ideal of spiritual movement. No matter whether you are an office worker, a president, a king, a lecturer in a college, a lawyer, a judge, a soldier, your relationship with God is yours. It is personal between you and God. It cannot be taken away. It cannot be shaken by anyone. Once you establish it, you become a devotee of God and you are ever protected by divine grace, which is symbolized by Sudarshan Chakra. Ambrish had attained that state. Sage Durvasa represents a unique concept in Indian scriptures. He represents that aspect of God which is always creating situations to test a devotee. So when these sages come and they give us tests, or when we go through our own struggles, that is to glorify our strength. God uses us. In this case, Durvasa was glorifying King Ambrish's bhakti or devotion. So Durvasa symbolizes all that is agitating to the mind, the world of frustrations, bitterness, anger. Anything that agitates your mind is an obstacle to devotion. If you wish to be a true devotee of God, you must be vigilant not to permit such agitation. A devotee of God accepts the fact that the world is God's creation and that everything that happens has a divine meaning behind it. With God as your strength, where is there room for bitterness, anger, and hatred? So may you all enjoy this nectar of bhakti through this satsanga. This is Swami Nikhilananda. Om Tat Sat.